what we want to do is set up an outlet to these items. And actually, I'm going to also drag these down just a little bit. That way we can put a steering wheel in our car. So our steering wheel, it's not a real steering wheel, but it'll work. I'm going to do a UI slider. So it kind of looks like the top of a steering wheel. Ooh la la. And what we want to do with this is have like a certain angle that it turns these. So to fix that, I'm going to go to the properties of that. And the min tint, I'm going to change that to a black. And and the max track tint, I'm going to turn that to a black. So now I really got the steering wheel going on. Now the minimum value, we'll do, let's say, -10. And the maximum value, we'll do 10. Now if we click on our assistant editor, we need to control click from our steering wheel over here. We're going to call this, we don't really want an outlet. We want to create an action from it. So we don't have to ever access the steering wheel. The steering wheel is just going to tell the car to do something. So let's say turn wheels. And the type is not ID, it's going to be a UI slider. So make it an action, turn wheels, UI slider, and then go ahead and connect that. And then the only wheels we have to worry about turning are our front two wheels. So I'm going to control click from this one, and actually I'll create all three. So I'm going to shortcut and just use 2 letters. So driver front, tire, and it is a tire. Connect it. We're going to get an error in a little bit, and the reason for that is it's like, what is this? In order for us to use tires, we have to import it. So at the very top, do a pound import tire, and that error goes away. Then we can continue on. This is a driver rear tire, so DR tire. And then I'm going to control drag from the passenger, so PF tire. And then finally, I'm going to control click, and we're going to say PR tire. So we have all these hooked up. If I hover over these, you'll see the nice little feature where it shows which each one of these is. And then this fires that action. Now if we go to our view controller, so I'm going to go back to single view, go to viewcontroller.m, I see that method for turning the wheels. And what we need to do is just change the transform of the 2 front tires. So driver front tire dot transform equals trans CG affine transform. Now this is a long method to remember, but just if you need transforms, rotate, scale, translate, those are the 3 transforms we can do. So CG affine transform rotate, it takes in basically where your starting point is. So self.dftire.transform. And there's going to be an issue with this. The angle of the sender value. And let's go ahead and save this. First off, only one wheel's going to be turning, so that's not good. But we want to see, I want to show you kind of there's an issue of using the same one because it's going to keep on rotating it more and more. So it's like you turn a little bit right and then trying to turn left, if you're over the midline, it should still be turning right because you're adding to the current transform. So we're going to have to solve that problem. And it's a pretty easy, quick fix. Alright, so we go, whoa, that's going pretty insane. If your car is doing that, trade it off. Okay, so First off, the problem is this is additive. So it's taking what the tire was, and if you turn your car tire just a little bit more of the steering wheel, it's going to add to where it was already at. So it's exponentially turning it around real quick. So we need like a common starting point. Okay, so if we option click on transform, we see it's a at property non-atomic CG affine transform. So we got to create that up here in the private variables. So let's do at property non-atomic strong. Now it's not a pointer, it's a CG affine transform. So CG affine transform space. We'll see default tire position. Now it's not the entire position, it's just the rotation angle. So the transform is just a matrix, and as we modify it, it's going to modify the matrix, and it's going to use that matrix to determine how to draw the tire. And luckily, a lot of this matrix mathematics is done for us nowadays. So instead of going down here, let's do a view did load, and let's set that. So this is the setter and the getter, but it doesn't instantiate it. So we got to instantiate that, and we just got to set one of the tires to it. So we're going to say self.default tire position equals self.driver front tire.transform. So when this view loads, it's going to go ahead and get that original position where the tire is facing directly forward. Then down here, instead of doing our D tire, we're always going to rotate from the base forward location. So we can do self.default tire position. And now if we run it, so we're taking a transform and we're rotating so many degrees off of the default center forward position. So not going off of where it was before, so it's not adding real quick. Let's take out the strong. I should have looked at that coding. Go ahead and try running it again. So I have property non-atomic. So when we option clicked, we noticed it didn't have a strong or a weak, so non-atomic should be good enough. And that looks pretty good. Rotate. That's going pretty far. Again, we'd have to trade this car off. So, but it's not doing what it was before. It's just that our steering wheel is not geared right. So, one thing to note, it's not in degrees. I think it's in radians. So if you're trying to go like a few degrees, that's way more. You're probably dealing with radians. And to convert from radians, it's a mathematical formula. We might as well go ahead and do this. So right down here, we're going to do a variable. So we're going to say float degree amount equals, and then do your parentheses, sender dot value divided by 180 times pi. So when dealing with rotation and degrees, there's radians and degrees, and they're different units of measurement. So it's like if you're driving your car and you're trying to determine kilometers per hour and miles per hour, you can freak someone out by changing it to kilometers per hour. I was on a road trip with a faculty member from engineering. He's like, "We're only doing 120," and I thought it was serious for a little bit, but it was kilometers per hour. So it's a completely different unit of measurement. So this formula right here, whatever the degree value was, divided by 180 times in pi, will put it into radians. Let's try doing that degree amount. So we're going to transform by the degree amount, not the radian amount, which was what it was trying to do before. Like I should say, it's going by the radians amount when we were thinking it was degrees. So let's go ahead and try that. Alright, no whammies, no whammies. Oh, that's pretty good tire there. That's behaving. Except for, you notice this will be the car that when you go around a corner it makes a squealing tire noise because only one of the tires is turning. So let's go and get that other tire turning. To do that, we're actually going to copy and paste. Copy paste. Instead of DF tire, it's going to be PF tire. So that's the only thing we're changing, one letter. So we're copying and pasting and saying the PF tire, we want to rotate it as well. Notice we're using that default tire position, even though that's the driver's side front tire's default transform is still the same transform matrix. It's the default. So it's no rotation applied at all. That's the rotation that we're rotating off of. And let's take a look at this. No whammies, no whammies. Oh, we got tires turning. So we got part of a car. In the next video, we're going to look at what's actually occurring here.